haven't painted the picture of what your people are going through in the southern Cameroon. I want to know if who is the president talking to? I mean, which country is working with you toward achieving your dreams of getting the independence you have yearned for your people from the Northern Cameroon government? That is one. Number two, the UN General Assembly is still ongoing, apart from the ceremonial opening. Have you made the effort to at least let your voice known at the UN General Assembly? And I know that struggles like this usually require other forces, maybe and some nations, powerful nations, that will assist you in realizing this. Which countries are working with you to ensure you have gotten what you wanted from the Cameroon? Thank you.
The president.
Yes, Mr. Hamza, the simple answer I can give you is that as a people who are facing oppression and annihilation entirely, we are crying desperately to everyone who is willing to listen. So we cannot tell you here that this is the one we are spoken to, this is the one we are speaking to. We are crying out to all the African nations. We have reached out to many, even in the European nations. Those that are interested in the resolution of such conflict, who have been instrumental, one way or the other, who are also involved by the historicity of this problem. Most of them have been contacted by us. So I'm not going to single out any nation here. But what is of interest will be who is responding to us, who is responding positively and showing interest. For that, I will not reveal. That is not good for the press, because sometimes the people who are helping us are not the enemies of the other side. And they may not be willing to make enemies of the other side because they are interested in the truth of our justice of our problem. So I would not reveal that. But to tell you the truth, we are working, and because our matter is rooted in the truth. We are not some charlatans that just came from nowhere trying to divide somebody's country. Our problem is so rooted in truth that the only way you will not listen, you will not take it serious, is not to listen. Because if you do, you will naturally gravitate to the truth of the matter, and it is on our side. Because we did not force ourselves to these people. We were not conquered by the Republic. We are not part of their country that is trying to break and secede from them. No, we came into a union with these people, and we attempted through the mandate of the United Nations to unite with them through the law, the resolutions carefully prescribed by the United Nations, and they rejected all these moves and decided to annex us. And so the marriage legally did not take place, and we are asserting our sovereignty, as it were, before we attempted the failed experiment. So the truth is on our side. So anyone who listens to it, naturally, will want to help us. So we'll not reveal that. Concerning the United Nations, they are still members of the UN who we talk to, and I believe that where the United Nations can play a role, you will hear voices that will come up on having understood our problem, because as we continue to educate and insist to touch the consciences of people, to not just know the truth, but to do what is right. I believe that there will be voices within the UN that will speak if the matter is only put on the floor. Because sometimes the powers, there are just a few powers within the UN system that decide the agenda of that club. So we may not expect much until certain things happen, and those powers are persuaded that this is the right time to have the matter on the discussion. There was a first discussion, I think it was in 2019, and aerial discussion at the United, which is non-binding. It is just a mere talk, like an unofficial talk on an issue. I think that was brought on the aerial discussion by the United States. So maybe one day, and not too long from now, we will move from the aerial discussion to a real discussion. But we are doing our best, and for the details, we hold them to our chest.